Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Last Word Sports. Today, another banger for you. We got a 2v2 fit off. Who will have the better career, Russell Westbrook or Damian Lillard? On the Russell Westbrook side, it is yours truly, Charlie Owens, with guests from the music channel, Dimitri Taranjo. How we doing, Deem? How we doing?
I'm doing great, bro. I'm ready.
We ready to beat down Dame? We ready to beat down Dame. Hurts me to say it because I'm a Blazers fan, but we're ready to beat him down.
I love Dame, but it's not an argument.
We're gonna have
On the Damian Lillard side.
I love Dame, but it's not even close.
Scott Kavertz and Nick Teray. How we doing, boys? How we doing?
Pretty good, Chuck. How are you?
Dude, I am fantastic. I'm ready to talk some basketball. Dimitri, why don't you start us off with our argument for Russell Westbrook?
Okay. I'm not going to pour out all of our information right here, but, I will start off with the basic, the obvious, stuff that makes Russ's career better so far. Obviously, the MVP is going to put him ahead of Dame, averaging triple-double 3 consecutive seasons. That is an incredible feat. He's a 9-time All-Star compared to Dame's 5 times as an All-Star. He has more All-NBA selections, more first-team All-NBA selections, and they have very similar career stats so far. Russ with 24, 7, and 8, as opposed to Dame's 24, 4, and 6, on exactly the same field goal percentage, 44 to 44. 3-point percentage, I give you. Russell's a terrible 3-point shooter, but it's never been a part of the game he's completely focused on. So, yeah, Russell is also a 2-time scoring champ, which Dame has never been one.
All right. So, Scott, would you like to start us off, or do you want me to go first?
No, you go first, Nick.
All right. So, first, I'm going to start off with the averaging triple-double for 3 straight seasons. All right? First, I would just like to say Russ has always had way more control over his team over the last couple of years. His usage percentage has been 5% higher than Dame over his entire career. So that's one part of it, right? Second part of it, Dame has played 4 less years in the league than he has and is actually 2 years younger than Russell Westbrook is at the moment, okay?
I want to say it's basically 1. He's like 29 and 310 days. So
yeah, something like that. But still.
It's exactly.
Still. But anyways, as I said, 8 years in the league versus 12 years in the league, all right? That's a pretty big difference.
Okay.
And then the second thing is Russell's triple-doubles. I would just like to say that, first off, rebounding is not – it's a good skill to have, but being a good rebounder as a point guard is not necessarily the most important thing, right?
I mean, it's –
and then also
it's
that –
benefit, though. Like,
what?
being good. Being a guard that can rebound well is –
the most athletic guy on the court.
Here's what I would like to say
Grab
about
offensive rebounds away from center.
his rebounding. Hey, it's my turn. Yeah, come on. All right, rebounding-wise, I would just like to say there's this –
Dimitri, in case you didn't know, we have a rule here.
Okay, let's let Nick have his point. Let Nick have his point.
All right.
When Nick is speaking.
Bro, Charlie, come on.
All right, I got to get to it. Okay, one moment. Where the hell is it? 1 second. Okay, so there's this certain stat line that you can find on NBA, and it's hustle stats, right? So box outs. 3 years ago, actually, in this case, Steven Adams led the league in box outs with 11.5 box outs per game, right? The next year, he was third with about 9.5, right? And then this year, he's now averaging 5, all right? So that just proves that he entirely Russell Westbrook's rebounding stats pretty much always come from Steven Adams, just boxing out so Russell Westbrook can grab the ball and just keep running, right? So that's how the reboundings work. It's not like he's actively jumping over players and getting rebounds. It's the fact that he's just running by Steven Adams' screen.
So we're going to discount all of Russell Westbrook's rebounds as
all point guards have like 4 rebounds per game, same thing. But the 7+ box outs that Steven Adams averaged 3 years ago to now is also the differential in Russell Westbrook's rebounding to now. So to rebounding back then. And so like 7 more rebounds is what Russell Westbrook averaged like 2 or 3 years ago. And that's from the fact that Steven Adams is also having 7 more box outs per game back then.
Oh, he's also averaging 7 rebounds, eight rebounds this year.
Yeah, but that's like,
And
he's also playing with a lot of pretty good rebounders this year. In Shea's actually, I would say, almost as good, probably even better, about the same level as Russell Westbrook as a rebounder. If you've been looking at his Shea, he's a fantastic rebounder. I think he's averaging.
But if I may intervene, Nick, Russell Westbrook is probably, with John Wall out of the league, the fastest point guard, or out of the league.
The most athletic.
The most athletic point guard, if not player, in the league, correct?
I wouldn't say most athletic. I'd say Giannis or LeBron are more athletic.
Well, point guard.
Okay, he's comparable to them in terms of athleticism.
Yeah.
Most athletic point guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell me that you're going to waste a good 2 seconds watching Steven Adams grab a defensive rebound, hand it to Westbrook.
Or just pass it ahead to Russ, who's already running down the court.
Yeah, but think about it this way, man.
Russ is better. Russ is always
if you have Russ maneuvering through traffic like he always does, instead of getting like him the ball at half court, you have more opportunities to score off the fast break.
I would also like to say that Steven Adams is kind of known for being one of those big men that can pass those long passes all the way down the court and throw dimes. Like if you've seen that one play where Steven Adams throws an absolute dime that's probably freaking the full length of the court to Dennis Schroeder to beat the Kings, I believe it was. That's just an example. So Steven Adams can make those good passes to what's called start the fast break. So Russell Westbrook running by is not exactly crucial. Steven Adams can still, make those passes at a pretty decent consistency. And then also you mentioned that Russell Westbrook has two what's it called? Scoring titles, right. Yeah, 1 second. Okay, so in Russ's 3 best years for scoring, it was his 16-7 season where he was averaging 31.6 on 42.5% from the field, 34% from 3, and then 45.7% from 2. 45.7 from 2 isn't exactly amazing.
That's
right?
pretty much average.
It's good. It's good. It's a solid, especially for his usage percentage. That's pretty damn good. But then his second best year is 28.1 points on 42.6% from the field, 29% from 3, and 45.9% from 2. And then this year he's averaging 27 points on 47%, which is very good, and 25% from 3, and 52% from 2, which is good. But then you look at Dame's best scoring years. There's this year, which he's currently averaging 29 points on 45.7% from the field, 39.4% from 3, and 51.8% from 2. So his efficiencies are quite fantastic, especially considering that Dame is shooting so many more threes. And then his second best year is 16-17 when he was 27 points on 44.4% from the field, 37% from 3, 49.2% from 2. And his third best year is 26.9 on 43.9 from the field, 36% from 3, and 50.1% from 2. So basically, as you can see, all of those years, Dame is pretty much more efficient as a player. And then Russell Westbrook this year, he's averaging 47% from the field and 51.8% from 2. But Dame is averaging the same percentages from 2, and then also a way better field goal percentage from 3. So that's just an example comparing them over the years efficiency-wise.
Okay, right? I don't think anyone's arguing that Dame is not statistically no,
I'm just saying that
his three-point shooter.
His best scoring seasons compared to Dame are not even close efficiently.
Why are we just focusing on scoring, though? Why are we not?
Can I say something?
It's in rebounds as well.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Averaging triple-double.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned Dame, how Russ has been an all-star more times, right?
Yeah.
But to me, that's not necessarily a fair point because the all-star game can be kind of a popularity vote. For example, in 2010 to 11, Russ was an all-star. He averaged 22 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds.
Uh-huh.
Dame had a year.
What year was this? Sorry.
2011.
For Russ, it was 2010 to 11. Dame in 2016 to 17 averaged 27, 6, and 5 and missed the all-star team.
What year
it's
was
a much better year than the year Russell had in 2016.
It was a more efficient year.
Okay.
So here's the other thing I just want to say. All right, just hear me out, fellas. I will admit, Russell Westbrook at his peak in that MVP season, that was better than any season Dame has had so far. But over the longevity of their career, Russ's career has been marked with underperforming in the playoffs, inefficiencies, terrible shooting from 3, and an inability to win with other All-Stars. Dame's career has been marked by clutch shots, being a really good shooter,
And getting swept in the first round by the Pelicans.
Well, hold on a second.
Literally 2 times he's had
and
2 bad seasons.
overperforming in the playoffs with no other all-star teammates. All right.
Okay,
Can I add something, bro? Can I rebuke that to some degree before I wouldn't consider his playoff career to be completely filled with clutch shots. He had the one against the Rockets, I will admit. That ice game, that was a legendary shot. He had obviously the one against the Thunder over Paul George. Iconic shot. No one's ever going to forget that shot. But I mean, for the rest of those playoffs in the Western Conference Finals, I know it's the Warriors. I know it's the Warriors. Who was he being guarded by, though?
Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson. Okay. He had 19 in the first game. He had 23. He had another game with 19. And he had one game with 28 points where he got outscored by Myers Leonard.
And those aren't great performances, but when you compare those to Russell Westbrook, who's consistently in the Portland series, he was 5 of 21 from the field in a crucial game. He's always choking. He blew a 3-1 lead against the Warriors with Kevin Durant as his teammate the year that the Warriors won 73 games. Him and Paul George, that was like a year after Russ had won MVP, and Paul George the next year would go on to finish third in MVP voting, right? Those two guys lost to a Utah team whose best scorer was a rookie Donovan Mitchell in 6 games. The next year they played Portland. Nobody on Portland was as good as Paul George that year. And Russell Westbrook was way better than CJ McCollum, right? Paul George in that series averaged 28-8, and they lost in 5 games.
And actually, he was pretty efficient, 43%. That's pretty good.
Let's just think of it like this, right?
Average, but yeah.
Who's a better defender? Damian Lillard. Over their career defensive rating?
By 3 points.
By a little bit.
108 to 105. So, I mean, it's a very marginal stat. But, yeah, okay.
But Dame is generally a little bit of a better defender. On the offensive side of the ball, right? Who's a better scorer? I'd say Damian Lillard. He can get going from all over the place.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Who's a better passer? Russell Westbrook has averaged more assists, but I would say Dame is just as good of a passer, if not slightly better.
He's more of an effective passer. Plus, he's had more
assists. I call Dave a better passer when he's.
Here's the thing about assists, man. Assists depend on how many shots your teammates make, not on how good your pass is. Okay. That makes sense. And then rebounding, I will admit, Russ is better than Dame. But if you look at it from an offensive standpoint, let's say they're even as passers. Which is more valuable as a point guard, being a better scorer or being a better rebounder?
Over their careers, they have the exact same scoring numbers, 24 to 24.
Okay, but Dame's ability to score from anywhere on the floor gives you a much-needed advantage. Part of the reason why Russell Westbrook is a continual playoff flop is because his inability to shoot from 3. Just listen, bro. His inability to shoot from 3 holds his teams back. He cannot play with another good forward who clogs the paint because then he's useless. He can't drive anymore. He can't play with a good big man. He has to have a wide-open lane like the Rockets where their tallest player is 6'5". And when you do that, you can't beat any of the good teams with forwards. So Russell Westbrook is preventing teams from winning because he can't effectively shoot.
So we're going to criticize Russell Westbrook for having a specific play style when that's a majority of players in the NBA anyway.
It's an outdated play style.
Well, when you say a specific play style, to me it's a lack.
Yeah, he's a slasher. It's what he does.
It's a lack of versatility that Damian Lillard has. You have to give Dame credit for being able to drive and threes.
He can shoot the 3 better. What else can Dame do better than Russell?
He's a more efficient passer considering the fact that he doesn't turn over the ball more and he doesn't have the same
I'm talking scoring specifically as a versatile scorer. Dame can shoot the 3 better. I 100% agree with you. But you're in no world are you going to tell me Dame can get
I take Dame on a fadeaway jumper. I take Dame on a pull-up jumper. I think Dame is
an opinion.
Pretty much anywhere other than just driving to the rim and dunking over a big man, I'd take Dame over Russ on offense.
100%.
We're going to boil down Russell Westbrook slashing game to dunking over big men. Come on, guys.
Yeah. We're saying that.
What else does he do?
Russ finishes the rim with a lot more finesse than just dunking over a big man. Come on.
Listen, Russ
is a solid finisher, but honestly, Dame might be just as good of a finesse finisher.
Absolutely.
What's a hypothetical, man? What is this ridiculous?
That's not a hypothetical.
You just said he might be just as good of a finisher.
Okay, he is. I'll be firm with it. He is. He's a better finisher than Russell.
100%. All right, we all
That's
agree
a terrible point.
that being a great three-point shooter is a big part of the game, right? Right now, as of right now, I mean, this year, Russ has a higher field goal percentage than Dame does. He has a field goal percentage of
And Giannis
47.
is the undisputed MVP.
Dame has 40.
Can I ask
Giannis
you
is the
something?
undisputed MVP. He can't shoot a three to save his life.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Giannis is still – when you say that, though, Chuck, Giannis this season is shooting like 30% from 3, 32%. Russ is shooting 24%. Russ is the bottom of the barrel, like worst of all time.
Guys, let's not bring in other players in it. It's just Russ and Dame. But I'm curious, Nick, if you're going to get off of the 3-point percentage or efficiency argument at some point in this video, because that is.
Oh, I literally already have. I literally started talking about passing, but then someone cut in front of me, and then I wasn't allowed to finish. What I was saying about passing is that Dame has never had the same exact he's always had a lower career sorry, I can't think of the ball. He's not holding on to the ball nearly as much as Russell Westbrook is. He doesn't have as good as teammates. I'm going to list off his teammates real quick. We all know his teammates. Russ, Kevin Durant, James Harden. I know in his best year he averaged like 17, but
Harden
still.
was 6
Serge
man, bro.
Serge Ibaka, who averaged 3.7 blocks per game in his best year with the freaking Thunder. And then Steven Adams, who's a solid role player as a center. Paul George, who is literally a top 9 or 8 player at the time and an MVP candidate. And then Dennis Schroeder, who's a good player off the bench. So if we're talking
not
Dame,
playing at the same time as Dennis Schroeder. He's just 6
Okay.
Let me say Dame's best teammates, CJ McCollum, LaMarcus Aldridge. Nurkic is up there, but he kind of just started playing really well.
I mean, he was good when he was playing.
He was good when he was playing, but he only played for
Nurkic only really played for like a year and a half with Dame.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, if we're going to talk about his best teammates, I think if he had stayed healthy, he could have been up there. But
this year, he has Hassan Whiteside, who is his defensive numbers may look good, but if you really look at it, the reason why his defensive stats are so good is because teams literally target him in the paint. They literally go after him in the paint. So his numbers for shots contested and all this stuff are way higher. But that's because he's so lazy on certain positions. Say if there's there's a guy on the opposite side of the ball that's driving down, he's not going to make that move to go run over there and try and contest that shot. He knows he's not going to have the best chance of going for that ball. So he wants to keep his his defensive numbers up there. But teams are always going after him. So Hassan really is a little bit overrated. So
I understand, but why are we penalizing Russell Westbrook for having good teammates? What can he do?
We're not. We're just saying that.
The reason why we're penalizing him is
look, let me talk. I understand that Russell Westbrook was paired with Kevin Durant, who is an all-time great. I understand that. And I understand.
Probably the second best player in the league at the point.
Okay, Nick, thank you. He was with Kevin Durant, and he had Serge Ibaka. He had Oladipo when he was injured. Okay, we got that. He was with James Harden when he was a sixth man, and he was not nearly the caliber player that he was now.
But he still averaged 17.
Okay, but he's not the MVP that he is right now. Okay, he was a sixth man of the year. He was a good player. But what is Russ gonna do? Ask for a trade because his teammates are too good?
No, that's not what.
I understand that it's not a fair playing field because Dame has never had as good of teammates.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter anymore.
Here's what I'm saying.
Do anything
right?
about it.
Compared to Russ and Dame, Russ probably has a higher win percentage over his career than Dame. All right, a lot of people are going to bring that up and say, "Oh yeah, Russ is better because he's always had a better team."
But that's not what Dimitri's arguing.
That's not.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying that certain people will say that, and then the fact that they say that and they say, "Oh yeah, Dame's not as good," just because
it doesn't matter what other people are saying. My art, that's not what I'm saying.
I know. I just think we should bring it up in the video just in case, so people understand our argument.
So if I can interject and make a point about the teammates, the one thing I will say is you have to admit Russell Westbrook's high assist total is part of his system, and Damian Lillard's lower assist total is part of his system. You look at what Portland does.
We could say that about dozens of other players.
No.
Would Magic Johnson have averaged as many assists if he didn't have Kareem on his team? No.
What does that have to do with this, though? The point that I'm trying to make is Damian Lillard.
That's the exact.
Bro, but what does that have to do with Damian Lillard?
Don't
It's about the system.
Just hear me out. Just let me finish. All right. Damian Lillard plays in a system where him and CJ McCollum are the two best players, and CJ McCollum is an ISO scorer. He doesn't get assists to CJ McCollum. He gives CJ the ball. CJ scores one-on-one. A lot of Russell Westbrook's assists come from him driving to the basket, drawing two guys, and then just handing the ball off to Steven Adams just dumping it down on a pretty simple pass because
Making
Steven Adams just feeds out. All I'm saying is
Which has helped
They're-
them win.
no, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying his passing is as good as Russell Westbrook's. It's just that their systems have made Dame's assist total lower.
Okay, I get that.
But are we talking about the
That's
actual?
a fine thing to say.
You can
I
say
mean, Russell Westbrook did what the system asked him to do, which was drive and dump the ball.
Exactly. Like,
Even
no,
if he score.
you
did
can
what
say
he-
all you want.
He
You
did
can
what
say
his
all
skill
you want
set forced his team to
this,
do.
man. You can say all you want that Dame
Yeah,
and Russ can like
and he's had more playoff success than Dame.
abilities themselves. But
I
at the
can't
same
tell
That's
who's
because he's
talking.
had KD. That's what I'm saying. He's had better playoff successes because he's had KD. And not only that, maybe his percentages may be a little bit better in those years, but that's because they're focusing on Kevin Durant. They're focusing on Russell Westbrook as a second option, but as KD, who are you going to pick to guard when you're like
In the
facing up
2012
KD
finals,
or Russ?
in the 2012 finals when they played the Heat, Russell Westbrook averaged 27, 6, and 6. Kevin
Yeah,
Durant
but that's also
averaged-
because
that's
KD
3 points less, and he's the second option. Has Damian Lillard ever make a finals or will ever make a finals? No, not on the Blazers.
with KD,
No, but Russell Westbrook
I understand
made
he's
the
with
finals.
KD. I understand he's with KD, but what is he going to do about it?
I'm just so
that's not what I'm saying.
I'm just
on
so
his record
Dame,
now.
oh yeah,
Ian,
he's
you're
going-
right to
no,
say what is he going to
Dude,
do
I'm
about
so
it, but
confused.
you
Did
can't-
Russell play
you
with
can't
Kevin Durant or not?
you can't knock Damian Lillard for not making the finals.
I'm not saying it's his fault for not making the finals. I'm saying he's just simply not going to make it on Portland. He's just not going to make it with
But
the team
I don't
that's
think he
on.
should be knocked on his career for that if he's not
Yeah,
playing with as good
exactly.
of talent. Like that shouldn't be any different. That shouldn't be a differentiator for why
Yeah.
you should say Westbrook is better.
100%.
Well, I think you could say that on the literal highest stage of basketball, Russell Westbrook played pretty phenomenally considering the team he
You missed out on my
But when
point
you-
on that. With KD as the primary option, they're guarding KD, and it leaves
Oh, we heard
Russell
you.
Westbrook open to
We
score
heard you.
more.
It's just wrong.
Right? So, of course, his stats are going to look really good in
They
the
still
playoffs
have,
when
like,
all the
Dwayne
teams
Wade
are
on
focusing on
Westbrook.
Kevin Durant.
No, dude, we heard you.
I'm
Dude,
just
the thing
saying
is,
that you're saying
Yeah,
the same
no,
thing.
we heard
once
you.
Kevin
That's
Durant left
Just
Oklahoma
don't
City,
know the stats, and it's wrong. He just
once Kevin Durant left Oklahoma City, Russ still had a better team surrounding him than Dame did, and Dame got further than Russ did
after
in the playoffs
It's
after
not-
KD left.
that 2017 NBA
Not
roster.
in that 2016-17 season, but literally every other year.
The 2016-17 Oklahoma City Thunder roster was not exactly.
their second best player was
That's
Victor
what
Oladipo,
we're saying, but every
who
year
wasn't
after
a star
that,
yet.
when
And
when
look,
Russ
the
has
rest of the
better
year.
teammates, he hasn't performed,
What?
even close.
Sorry, you cut out, Nick. What did you say?
My bad. So every year after that 16-17 season, we admit that 16-17 season was crazy. He also had literally like a 42% from the usage percentage
40.
as a team. That's way higher than Dame has ever been able to have.
They're
The one year, I want to say something else. The one time Dame was able to have that high of a usage percentage, he averaged 48, 9, and 7 on 47% from 3 and 46% from the field.
okay.
The one time he had that high of a usage
I mean,
percentage,
their career usage percentages are differentiated by 3%.
that's still pretty dang high for a usage percentage. A
But
usage
part
percentage.
of that too is because early in his career, when they had Kevin Durant, his usage percentage wasn't as high, and his stats were a lot more comparable to Damian Lillard's.
Okay. So at best they're comparable players earlier in their careers, and right now they're fairly comparable, being at 27, 6, and 7 versus Dame's 29, whatever his other two stats are.
It's I think 8 and
And it's just fate. It's just the luck of the draw. Westbrook's on a better team right now. Damian Lillard is on one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. I don't blame him for Nick. Let me talk, bro. Westbrook is on a better team. I don't fault Damian Lillard for being on a bad team. It's not his fault. His back is breaking on the Blazers. They have nothing. They have no other options other than McCollum, who's a slightly above average.
Never been an all-star.
I understand that.
He's having the worst year
But
since his rookie year.
I mean, you can't do anything about it right now. It's just, if you're looking at it, Westbrook is going to finish his career better, if not equal to where Damian Lillard's at, based on the team he's with and the stats he's averaging right now. If you want to delve into specific percentages and usage rating and all of that, you can. But at the end of the day, they're going to look very similar at the end of the barring like a major trade for Dame if he goes to like a contending team.
Like the Lakers.
Then he might end with a better.
Probably with a ring, but
he's locked up at like $90 million right now with the Blazers.
It's a lot. But there's two things you have to consider.
4 years, $50 million a year, I think. About
There's two things you have to consider. One, Dame is still getting better. Like his best season of his career is this season that's going on now. So we don't know how high his ceiling is. Russell Westbrook has peaked already. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's having a career year right now. 27, 6, and 7 on 47 field goal. That's good. That's good, but
that's not as good as the year that Dame's having right now.
Well, as I mentioned before, Dame still equal and better technically from 3-point percentage. Like what's it called? That one that calculates 3-point percentage along with 2-point percentages, effective field goal percentage. Dame has like what was it against, Scotty? I think you would before.
True shooting. Yeah, Dame's like 6% higher in his career.
Okay.
But the point that I'm trying to make is we don't know if we've seen the best of Dame. And with Russ, his legacy is more fixed. It's more set in stone. And at the end of the day, I think, 15 years from now, when people look back at Russ, they're going to say, hey, he had really good stats, but he was kind of a ball hog. He drove away good teammates, and he underperformed in the playoffs. He was inefficient. And I think when they look at Dame's legacy, they're going to say, hey, he was loyal to Portland. He put up really good numbers with a not-so-great supporting cast and had clutch moments where he outperformed his standards.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then
mean it's a better career, though?
I mean, I think it does, but
you froze for a second.
I guess at that point, it's a matter of opinion.
It's objective. And, I mean, if you want to call Westbrook a choker in the playoffs, I think that's a little bit exaggerated. He's averaged some pretty incredible numbers in a lot of important playoff series. Like he had multiple 30-plus point games against the Warriors in that Western Conference Finals. I understand they choked. I understand. But regardless, the play is still there.
Yeah.
And, I more than agree with you that he's had bad playoff performances stringed together. But
Russ has had
at the end of the day, if you just look at the sheet, he has an MVP, more scoring titles, more All-Stars. Whether you think it's a popularity contest or not, he has more of them. More first-team All-NBA selections. Dame has one. He's been to the finals. Dame's never one first team. He has
but like this year, Damian Lillard will be first team.
Yeah.
And Russ won't. You know what I'm saying? Like Dame still has. Dame could still add to his.
We don't know what's going to happen with the season, man.
I think it's probably going to be canceled, but that's not the point.
But even if they cancel it, they'll still pick an All-NBA team.
Yeah, and like
Dame would make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But okay. I just want to go back and talk just a little bit about the last year's playoffs. I know that you guys know that Dame obviously killed Russell Westbrook in the playoffs, but I feel like y'all underrate Dame's defense in that series. So I just want to go a little bit through the percentage.
Just part of killing Russell Westbrook. It's just all looped in with Russell Westbrook, bro. What?
Here, I'm just going to say the stats, all right? Russell Westbrook versus Damian Lillard in the 2018-19 playoffs.
We all agree that Westbrook.
No. This is a different thing.
Dimitri!
We don't need to.
What did we talk about?
We don't have a rule. We don't need to hear the statistics, bro. He got smacked.
Okay. 36% from the field, all right? 32% from the three. That's better than he usually does, but still, that's bad, right? 10.6 assists per
Westbrook can't shoot the three? Who would have known? That's crazy.
All right. 8.8 rebounds per game, 1 steal per game, 0.6 blocks per game, 4.6 turnovers per game, 3.8 personal fouls.
Chuck did not want to hear it.
Chuck's gone, bro.
Dame is 39.7 minutes per game, 46% from the field, 48% from three, 33 points per game, 6 assists, 4.4 rebounds, 2.4 steals, 0.6 blocks, 4.4 turnovers, 2.6 personal fouls. All right? The thing that y'all – this is the thing. Y'all discredit Dame's defense, all right? No, listen to me. Listen to me. Enes Kanter was the center for the Portland Trail Blazers at this point in time. And Enes Kanter is renowned for literally being one of the worst post defenders in the league by a lot, all right? Dame locked down supposedly one of the best driving point guards in the league
Not
to
supposed to be.
36%. I wouldn't say he's the best. I would say
You just said one of
Who's the better driving point guard?
okay, if we're talking finesse, then obviously Kyrie's got more finesse. Dame's got.
But that's finishing. It's not driving,
scorer, bro. Kyrie's an ISO scorer.
Let me go back to this. Okay, Russ is supposedly the best driving point guard in the league, and Dame let him to 36% from the field. 36%.
Okay, but part of that, Nick,
defender was Enes Kanter.
Part of that,
Enes Kanter.
Nick, part of that was he didn't drive as much as he should have. What was actually, this is another problem with Russ, is his mentality.
100%.
If you talk trash to him, he's going to shoot and miss over and over until he proves you wrong. Like, Dame would be like, take a three, bro. I'm stepping back.
Total
be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to shoot 50. I'm going to shoot 50. You know?
And then he'll hit one and be like.
And then he'll shoot me out.
Like, yeah, I understand that. But, like, okay, Dame outperformed Russell Westbrook in that playoff.
Not just outperformed, he killed Russell Westbrook in that series.
Okay, talk to me.
Literally.
All right, does anybody have anything to say that hasn't already been said or wrap this up?
No, I think we can wrap it up.
Okay, I would just like to say,
God.
Last thing career-wise, Dame has a career higher points per game by 0.8, free throw percentage higher by 0.8.
Career higher points per game?
Yeah, career points per game, 0.8, plus 0.8. Free throw percentage, plus 8.9%. Efficiency field goal percentage, which is a very, very important stat, 4.8%. 2 percentage is a higher percentage for Dame, which is even more incredible, you know.
I don't even know.
Plus 1.5. 3-point percentage, plus 6.7. He has an equal field goal percentage, even though Dame takes way more threes, and his turnovers percentage is minus 1.3. So all of the efficiency stats Dame has by a lot. And Dame's a better scorer. He's a more effective passer.
Nick, you said his turnover percentage was minus 1.3. Do you mean he's like 1.3% lower than Dame?
No, turnovers-wise, he has 1.3 more turnovers than Dame. That's what I meant.
Okay, I mean, he is driving more and facilitating the offense more than Dame is.
But that's also because he has – but you also say that for the same reason that his assists are so much higher is because he's driving in. So you can't really discredit the fact that he has so many more turnovers.
I'm not.
In his worst year, I think he averaged 5 turnovers per game, which is like
in his worst
second
year,
worst ever.
5 turnovers.
That was also his MVP year.
Is that going – okay.
You just called that his worst year, bro. What?
No, for turnovers.
Oh,
that
was also his career year in like every other statistic. But
I'm just saying that efficiency-wise, Dame, I would rather have making a pass.
Bro, we all agree that Dame is better efficiency, has better efficiency. It's not a better career, though. Being more efficient is not a better career.
What'd you say?
Being more efficient is not the only factor in having a better career.
It's a huge percent. It's a huge part of it that's understated. And it's all. I'm just saying that Dame is a better passer, and that's a fact. Because it literally look at the numbers.
It's a fact.
Look at the numbers.
You don't understand.
You don't understand.
It's also a fact that Westbrook has more assists, but you know we're gonna discredit that. But whatever, whatever, man. All he does is pass to his big man. It's not like what a point guard's supposed to do. What? No, never, never.
Usage percentage are way higher.
Drive to the basket and pass to the
better teammates to pass to.
He has better. Okay.
Okay, girls, you're clearly both on your period. Thanks for watching The Last Word. We appreciate your viewership. You guys comment below. This was a pretty heated video. Who do you think's better, Russ or Dame? Who do you think will have the better career? Do you like Chuck leaving in the middle of the podcast? Do you think we should kick him out?
His Wi-Fi shut off. We're sorry.
Yeah, that's a lie. Thanks for watching, everybody. Deem, hit us with your bada boom thing, and then
bada bing, bada boop, bada bomb.